Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Justin Smith. A hotel owned by the university might have to fire some of its workers. I'll tell you why coming up.
And we'll show you why the new online ticket distribution has some students singing the blues.
In sports, Cam Sexton got his first chance to start for the Heels. We'll have all of the high-flying highlights from Saturday's game.
Plus, Laura Pagano is here with a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and more. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello, and welcome to the September 18th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Katie Klein.
And I'm Jessica Floyd. Thanks for watching. A Chapel Hill landmark might have to fire more than 10% of its workers after discrepancies were found in federal records. Carolina Week's Justin Smith has been investigating the story and joins us with the details. Justin?
Jessica, 37 employees at the Carolina Inn are being reviewed by the Social Security Administration. That's because their names don't match up with the Social Security numbers they gave hotel administrators. According to a Carolina Inn spokesman, the employees work in housekeeping and food and beverage services. The hotel's manager worries the workers might be illegal immigrants who made up Social Security numbers. So far, no one has been fired. The spokesman added that hotel guests shouldn't feel any effects from the review. The university owns the Carolina Inn and Aramark operates it. Carolina Week has learned that Social Security officials have also reviewed some Aramark employees working for Carolina Dining Services. The university's Director of Auxiliary Services, Mike Freeman, says he learned of the discrepancies more than a month ago. He believes questions still remain about the Social Security numbers of only a few employees.
So, Justin, this might not be a case of the workers trying to deceive their employers or the government.
That's right, Jessica. A spokeswoman for the Social Security Administration told me the reason names and Social Security numbers don't match up is often typos or information listed in the incorrect place on the forms. I'm Justin Smith, Carolina Week.
Thanks, Justin.
We turn now to the international controversy involving the Pope and a quote from a speech he made that enraged some in the Muslim world. Here's CNN's Stan Nurenberger with a summary.
I am deeply sorry for the reactions in some countries to a few passages of my address.
Anti-Vatican protests came quickly this week after the Pope, speaking before a German audience, quoted a 14th century Byzantine emperor who called some teachings of the Prophet Muhammad evil and inhuman. Since then, Christian clergy in Muslim countries have reported vandalism at their churches. That trend apparently continued Sunday, when 2 Roman Catholic churches in the West Bank were set on fire. Palestinian police say one individual was taken into custody. A representative for Egypt's main opposition group said earlier that he had accepted the Pope's apology as sufficient.
The remarks that came from the Pope today is a retreat from what he said in his lecture on Tuesday in Germany.
But a later statement on the group's website said the Pope's reaction to the outcry was not enough, and they are demanding a full apology for his use of the quote. I'm Stan Nurenberger reporting from Atlanta.
Dr. Carl Ernst is a specialist in Islamic studies and joins us in the studio to offer some perspective. Dr. Ernst, what's your take on what the Pope said?
I think it was an unfortunate and insensitive recycling of medieval polemics against Islam, which the Pope was using in order to bash some other opponents. But I think it revealed a singular lack of self-criticism.
And why do you think the remarks created such controversy?
It basically claims that only European Christians can combine reason and religion, and assigns irrationality to Muslims. This is a pretty self-serving approach, and one which I would never expect to find anyone very happy about if they're on the receiving end of it.
And some people worry that we're on the verge of World War III, and that calls for a holy war War would lead us right into that. What's your opinion?
Everybody who's calling for a war is creating conditions for its creation. But it's not necessary to adhere to the rhetoric of war. And I think that anyone who's interested in searching for alternatives can try to shift the language out of warfare into lesser situations.
And what can Catholics, Christians, the West in general, do to quell some of the distrust coming from the Muslim world?
Stop talking about the Muslim world as if it's a separate planet, but instead try to engage with dialogue with the Muslims who are in residence and citizens of America and Europe.
Dr. Carl Ernst, director of the UNC Center for the Study of the Middle East and Muslim Civilizations. Thank you for your insights.
College Republicans gathered in the Pit Monday to encourage students to register to vote. Between classes, potential voters had the chance to make a difference by registering. Students throughout the area made their mark within the state by signing up. Organizers enticed students with free giveaways such as keychains and pins. CR Chairman Tyson Grinstead says registration is the first step toward increased voter turnout.
Well, it gets people involved in the civic process, and if people register, in the year, they're more likely to go vote, or to want to vote, so it keeps it fresh on their mind.
Within the first half hour, 10 students had already registered to vote.
For many teens, a driver's license is more than a license, it's freedom. Unfortunately, scenes like these involving teens are all too familiar. Mangled cars and shattered windows are things driver's ed won't prepare you for. However, graduated license provisions have decreased the occurrence of fatal car accidents among teens. Mother of 4, Sandy Cook, supports the restrictions. Friends of hers lost their son in an accident.
The parent suffered so much as a result that he himself didn't live much longer, and I think died of a heart attack.
Because of the graduated license provisions.
Do you fear for your life when crossing the street on campus? In March 2006, the Department of Public Safety kicked off its Yield to Heals program, raising awareness about pedestrian safety. During the event, university police officers did not hesitate to put a stop to jaywalking. Officers gave citations for $135 for those who didn't use crosswalks properly. Spokesman at the DPS, Randy Young, says the Yield to Heals program never really stopped.
This fall, we had already started handing out citations. We did not go through a warning phase. We handed out citations beginning with the beginning of classes here on campus.
Yield to Heals will kick off another program in the fall and spring to inform freshmen about pedestrian safety and how to avoid those expensive citations.
It seems many freshman students aren't prepared for the college workload. Research shows about half the students who enter college need remedial courses. The need for these courses is highest at community colleges across the nation. Officials at Durham Tech say about 50% of students there need extra help in reading, writing, or math.
Music is often a big part of protest. Some Carolina students use song to protest a policy they say strikes a wrong chord with Tar Heel fans. Several dozen students linked arms and sang the alma mater in the pit Friday to show their disapproval of the new online ticket distribution system. Student tickets to men's basketball games will be doled out using the online system this season. Senior Roger Horowitz organized the protest. He's opposed to the new system in part because it doesn't guarantee that groups of students can sit together at the games.
In the past, you've been able to go and have a bunch of your friends go together and get their wristbands together. And I just think it really builds a better community atmosphere if I'm with 10 friends and we're all cheering together than if I'm with just one friend and a bunch of people who I don't know around me.
Horowitz says the protest wasn't sponsored by a campus organization. A group of friends used Facebook and email to plan the event.
You might not get ticket through online distribution, but that doesn't mean game day will be a total bust. After the break, we'll show you how some Tar Heels live it up on game day.
Women's Center, may I help you? The Women's Center is a nonprofit agency that has served as a meeting place for women in the Triangle since 1979, making it one of the oldest freestanding women's centers in the country. The mission of the Women's Center is to provide a supportive community where all women can inspire each other to grow, both personally and professionally.
I was going through a crisis at home, and I contacted Helpline, and they referred me directly to the Women's Center.
I think the Women's Center is really important for the community because it offers so many different kinds of resources, and if we don't have the resource here, we can find an avenue or a way for women to find the answers that they need.
It is inspiring. It's so exciting to be a part of something that really matters and really changes things.
You can support the Women's Center through membership or by sending a contribution to the Women's Center, 210 Henderson Street, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27514.
Many Carolina fans come to Chapel Hill on game day to tailgate and take in other festivities. Some locals found they could enjoy the same atmosphere from their own backyard. Students at this house shared the comfort and convenience of being at home without having to worry about traffic or parking. With freshly grilled meat and all the fixins, there was plenty of good food to go around. Friends and neighbors were able to enjoy one another's company while sharing encouraging words about the Tar Heels. Student and football fan Chris Blackman says that food is an important part of the pregame experience to fuel the fans.
We're at least going to have some good food, so that's my thought. Have good food, and then maybe play, maybe win, but we got to get the energy to perform at the game. So basically, this is a big part of what's going into the night.
After filling their faces with food, Carolina enthusiasts are ready to cheer the Tar Heels to victory.
The Dirty South Improv Group knows how to prove that laughter really is the best medicine. The DSI group collected ticket money during a 24-hour comedy marathon this weekend to donate to the Children's Hospital. Even this guy at the concession stand couldn't hide his excitement about the show. And it didn't take long for these seats to fill up. Audience members yelled out themes as the DSI group acted out scenes. They even tried some improv impressions. The actors really awed the audience, and crew member Andrea Margolis says what the group does on stage is an extension of how close they all are.
We meet once a week and go out for coffee or drinks so we can get to know each other. It helps to kind of build rapport when you're on stage.
No word yet about how much money the marathon raised for the Children's Hospital.
What's it worth to you to get your car washed? $1 million? 3 campus groups hope their efforts, combined with other groups across the nation, can raise that much money. Students hosted the National Wash for Life fundraiser for the first time in Chapel Hill. The car wash raised money for pregnancy support services. People of all ages hung out and enjoyed a little sunshine while the students scrubbed the cars until they were spotless. One member of Carolina Hope, Kelly McCoy, was very happy about the turnout.
I think it's great. was excited so many volunteers turned out. I didn't really think that if that would happen or not, so it's great to have all the help.
The Chapel Hill Car Wash was one of an estimated 200 taking place across the nation.
What if you could party with your friends and raise money for a good cause at the same time? Some UNC students did just that at Global Music Jam 06 Saturday night. More than 200 people gathered at Nightlight on Rosemary Street to support the Jam's theme, Think Globally, Dance Locally. The dancing pulsed through the night as the DJ spun a range of world music from African to salsa. The event, sponsored by Campus Y and WXYC, raised money for Nourish International, which funds relief projects around the globe. Nourish International's Matt Callahan says the group has 2 goals.
The biggest thing was just people having a good time. That's why we had WXYC come. That's why we're having the global music theme. It's because stuff that people enjoy, and if we get some money out of it, that'll be cool too.
And the group did get some money out of it. A $5 cover charge earned Nourish International more than $1,000 by the end of the night.
Well, we've certainly had good weather for all these fundraisers. Not too hot, not too cold.
And weathercaster Laura Pagano is here to tell us what the rest of the week is looking like.
Yes, well, it has been pretty warm lately, and I'm sure a lot of us would hope that fall is going to, come back around. And with the first day of fall just around the corner, how much longer will we be able to enjoy this sunny summer weather? I'll have your forecast coming up.
When your children ask where you got married, will you have to tell them, over there by the unleaded? When we lose a historic place, we lose a part of who we are. Help protect historic places in your community. Visit nationaltrust.org.
Mother taught me. She's
averaging 18%.
Balance
the budget. Increasing clouds for...
UNC TV. Your remote stops here.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Laura Pagano. Well, these past few days have been pretty warm, and I'm sure a lot of us hope that the fall conditions will come in the next week or so. Well, I have good news in the fact that this warm conditions are just going to be sliding off to the east, and cool down is on the way. Do we have any hurricanes to worry about? I'll let you know. How about for the U.S. satellite map? We will see that band of clouds right here associated with a cold front that is just going to be sliding off toward the east. And right now, current conditions, we're seeing high pressure system building off towards our east, the east coast of North Carolina, and up and down the eastern coast, we have beautiful conditions, but that is going to be drastically changing over the next 24 hours. Focusing more toward the southeast, we do see an abundant amount of clouds right toward our west. For the Appalachian Mountains, they're going to be seeing precipitation as early tomorrow morning, and then we're going to see it in the PM hours. So for us right now, we are in the clear. So as we take a look at the radar, we also see that we do have a nice amount of thunderstorms. This condition right here is going to be right on top of us for tomorrow and toward your evening, say your commute. So for those of you who are going to be heading out tomorrow, you guys need to make sure you have plenty of weather gear for rain, like an umbrella or a raincoat. Taking a look at the surface map, we'll see that for tomorrow, this system is going to be sliding off to the east. So this right here is what it's going to be looking like for our Wednesday into Thursday, really sunny conditions, and looking off toward the west to see if anything is going to be coming into our area. Nothing of major influence on the weather for us. If anything, we need to worry about some tropical storms, such as Hurricane Helene, which is churning off into the Atlantic. As we see right here, that this is Hurricane Helene, 120 mile per hour winds, and we have Gordon up toward the north. If this is going to be affecting our weather, it's not going to be for the next 7 days, but do keep an eye out on the system, for it will be heading towards the U.S. in the next few days. As we take a look at the 4-day forecast, Tuesday is when we're going to see the most precipitation, and that is when you guys need to be very careful on the roads if you guys are heading out towards I-40, going back to your house or any other area. You need to make sure that you take it easy on the roads. And then for your Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday, we are going to see beautiful conditions prevailing, and really fall-like temperatures are going to be hitting our area finally. So for those of you who really want to see fall take place, you really, got to watch out for this coming up week, because it's going to be looking great.
Oh, great. Sounds good. Thanks, Laura. No problem. And I was at the football game over the weekend, and we had some great weather for that, and the heels look good, too.
Yeah, and sportscaster Ryan Ball is here to tell you what you missed if you didn't make it to the game.
Oh, it was a nail-biter on Saturday night, but we'll have details coming up. Coming up in sports, John Bunting and the Heels have a quarterback, and he actually throws to his own team. We'll have the highlights from Cam Sexton's debut as a Tar Heel starter coming up.
Hey, we tried all. Don't tell me to calm down. I hate that.
Stop acting like an animal. You're in public.
I will knock you into next week. Stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it. That's it. We are leaving
Like
right now. We are leaving right now. Get up. Susanna, I said we're leaving.
the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Ryan Ball. Did we really almost lose to Furman? Well, a win's a win. I'll take it. The new blue finally differentiated itself from the old blue with a win on Saturday. Reporter Deshaun Brown has a recap of the close victory over Furman.
Coming into Saturday's game 0-2, the Heels were in desperate need of a win. Senior running back Ronnie McGill led the Heels to a speedy start against the Furman Paladins. But a quick 14-point lead quickly dissolved into big trouble.
It was way too close for comfort. And then when we went up at the end of the game and they drove down the field, people were trying to give me 5 on the sideline. I told them wait after the game because I've seen some crazy things happen.
Carolina fans watched nervously as the Paladins inched their way back into the game. Furman's Jerome Felton ran for 67 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the charge. Down 35-31 in the fourth quarter with the game slipping away, senior receiver Jesse Hawley took the game into his hands, literally.
And everybody keep telling you, be patient, be patient, be patient, and you know what you possess inside. You know, that kind of frustration kind of gets at you sometime, man. When you finally get one, just like, finally. And then, you know, it's just the load off your shoulders like the monkeys off my back.
Ronnie McGill's fourth and final touchdown took care of any other animals and put the Heels on top for good, much to Coach Bunting's liking.
I'm really pleased with the win. A couple weeks from now, once again, those people won't know what the score is.
For now, the Heels can enjoy their first win of the season, a 45-42 nail-biter. In Chapel Hill, I'm Deshaun Brown, Carolina Week Sports.
After 3 home games in a row, Carolina will take to the road against Clemson on Saturday. The women's soccer team met Marquette in a defensive struggle in the Duke Adidas Classic on Friday. The Tar Heels finally broke the scoring drought in the middle of the second half with this amazing kick by Yael Averbush. Tar Heel fans cheered. The Marquette goalkeeper, she wasn't too happy with it. Later in the second half, the crowd found itself wondering if they were watching soccer or ping pong. Back and forth and back and forth. Watch Whitney Injun score the final goal of the game. She's going around and slides it in. Heels win 2-0. The win brought the 5th-ranked Heels to 7-1 for the season. Carolina took first place in the Duke Adidas Classic on Sunday with a 1-0 win against Florida. Heather O'Reilly scored the game-winning goal. Heels moved to 8-1. While the women's team was at Duke, the men's team traveled all the way to Clemson to take on the Tigers in a top 5 match. Defense dominated in a rough game. He went down hard, and it wasn't until the 54th minute that Clemson ripped a shot past goalkeeper Justin Hughes to put the first point on the board. The Heels tried to convert on their limited scoring chances, but in the end, Clemson's 1 goal was enough to top Carolina, as the Heels were shut out for the first time this year. Saturday, the Heels took on the Lady Monarchs from Old Dominion University. Right to the second half, Heels down by 1. On a penalty corner shot, it's in the air. And freshman Ilsa David sends this one in priority mail, tie game. 12 minutes left in the second, ODU scoots it past freshman goalkeeper Brianna O'Donnell. ODU up 2-1. Fast forward to the next penalty corner. O'Donnell, sprawling for the save, didn't quite make it. It would not be enough. ODU wins 3-1. Head coach Karen Shelton says that this loss isn't significant.
Doesn't matter where we are right now, it's where we're going. And we want to be playing our best in November.
It doesn't matter where we are right now. We're going to Sunday's game against 10th-ranked Virginia, and things start off right where they left off.
Thanks, Ryan.
Not a problem.
Following your dream is no laughing matter.
Well, that depends on what dream we're talking about. Coming up, we'll tell you about the Carberell couple whose dreams come true every day.
you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
If you've noticed some funky footwear around campus lately, there's a good chance it came from Ha Ha Shoes.
We headed to the new Carrboro shoe store to see what the laughter is all about. Shoes are a laughing matter in the case of this Carrboro shoe store and its owners. Hank Hartigan and his wife Gabriella Cunha moved here in 1998 and opened Ha Ha Shoes last month.
And Ha Ha, the name Ha Ha comes from the fact that I was thinking the world was getting kind of absurd, so I wanted to make an absurd response.
Hartigan's shoes carry him around the world.
Brazil, Portugal, Spain, Italy.
Hartigan worked for brands such as Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, and Reebok.
Did you say 7?
Yeah, 7.
Each brand really had its own challenges, and I think that's why I took jobs. So if I hadn't done it before, I would say, oh no, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to learn something new about the world, and I'll take it.
Yet he grew tired of the corporate environment and set out on his own. So why settle down here in Carrboro? The couple says they were looking for somewhere both artistic and inspirational. And ideas for shoe designs can come from anywhere, even simply walking down the street.
If you go to an Ethiopian restaurant, they have this bread that they serve the food on, and I loved the texture, and I said I have to use that texture on a boot. And I guess the combination, when I do something, I want it to be familiar and different. So you have references that are sort of like, hey, I know that. And then you have other things that make you go like, what are you doing?
All the spring summer shoes are 2 for 1.
Cunha says customers appreciate being able to meet the designers when they walk into the store.
I think in the end the best way is going back to localization. And that was one of the reasons we decided to really settle down and have a base here in Carrboro.
No matter where they are in the world, people are unique.
The top boutique show in the country chose this boot for their fashion show, for all the fashion models to wear this. But I also find there's some hookers in New York that think it's the greatest boot they'd ever seen. So it's really funny how you can, different people respond.
So Jess, what do you think about some of those shoes in that package?
I really think the shoes were extremely creative. If I were that creative, maybe I'd try to make a pair of shoes. I don't know.
Yeah, you should definitely go check out some of the shoes over there.
So Ryan, what else has been going on in sports lately?
We actually had a surprising game against the volleyball team had a game against NC State this weekend. I learned that we have not lost to them in volleyball since 1997. And after Friday night, the streak continues at 19 straight wins.
Wow.
So nice job for the volleyball team.
So a lot of people are scared of us.
A little bit.
And Laura, can you just give us a quick recap on what's going on in weather for the next week?
Sure. And to tie it up with sports, anybody who wants to has outdoor sports in the next week or so, it's going to be absolutely beautiful for anybody that wants to be outdoors.
Okay. And Ryan, who's the next football game that we're playing?
We're going down to Clemson on Saturday, which should be a pretty good game. They've got a really tough home field, though, so Coach Bunting and his players really have their work cut out for them.
So good sports and good weather, that's a great combination.
Yep. And so that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.